Hey y'all, it's Crystal, just coming at you today with a quickie. Just a little announcement video for something coming up in October, because it's right around the corner. You know what I mean? Whoa. So yeah, so we are going to be bringing you Occult Detective October, a really fun reading event for the month of October coming up. So this was the great idea of MJ over at Reading This Life. She reached out to a bunch of us and said, Occult Detective October, that could be fun, right? And I said, heck yeah, that sounds like fun. So I said, I'm on board. And she recruited a whole bunch of us. Like I said, I'll link all the hosts below. We've got a great team of folks. And I think it's going to just be a whole heck of a lot of fun. And we're just going to read occult detective books. Yeah. So what is an occult detective story? Well, it's actually pretty broad. Actually, when I started digging into like what is an occult detective story, I was like, okay, lots of things actually really fit into this sort of larger sort of subgenre, right? And so yeah, but a couple things I guess are kind of the same within, right? That's of course the detective part, right? So it can be either a real detective like that works with the police department. It can be a private detective. It could be some sort of fancy group that investigates things. It could be an amateur sleuth. As long as there's someone investigating something, you know what I mean? And then you throw in the occult stuff, and that, of course, is very broad too. And so it was something to do, of course, with paranormal, supernatural type things, right? Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. So, and like I said, this is a sort of genre that's been, around, been around for a little while, and you can find examples of it through all sorts of different subgenres, and yeah, it's a lot. It's really fun to explore, and I've definitely been having fun exploring, and yeah. Anyway, so like most booktube events, we've got some prompts, and because October has 4 full weeks, so we just got four themes, one per week. And of course you can do it however you want to do it. But these seem to work pretty good when you break it down by the week. And I think the prompts are pretty broad, and really help you explore occult detective if it's something like new to you, or you're just really am I really familiar with this? I think this is a good way to do that. So week 1 will be the classics. So anything basically pre-1960. And again, very broad time range. You can definitely find some good stuff and some real classics of the genre. And then, of course, that means week 2 is going to be the more modern stuff. So anything 1960 or later, right? Yeah, anything up to the present day. And again, you're going to find a whole bunch of different things there. Okay, then the third week is going to be just diversity, either a diverse author or the character within the story. Now, of course, that can, whatever diversity means to you, right? And then 4 is just going to be an anything goes week, and then the last few scrappy days of October, just read what you want. It's going to be fun. Again, I think those prompts are pretty broad enough to help you find something. So I think it's going to be fun. Now, MJ does have a little section on her Discord that she has put aside for occult detectives. I'll link her Discord below. Head on over there if you have questions about what is occult detective story? What are they? What's going on? What can I read? I need ideas, help. Yeah, there's a space there for that she has set up, and all the co-hosts are there to help you out as well. And I think I've got everything. So let me show you just a few things that I have pulled off my shelf that I'm setting aside for Occult Detective October, and hopefully get to dive into, and maybe give you some ideas about what is this, right? So Supernatural. You know that show Supernatural? Yeah, we follow the Winchester brothers as they investigate supernatural paranormal things, right? Perfect example of an occult detectives. And I've got a few of these supernatural books on my shelf, and I'm definitely going to be reading one of these in October, and I'm super excited and to get into Sam and Dean. I'm really excited. Okay, I've got this older book by Fred Fred Saberhagen, called The Holmes Dracula File. So it says here on the back, crime makes strange partnerships, and none stranger than that between Sherlock Holmes and Count Dracula. So I think I don't know, they get together somehow. somehow Dracula holds the keys to some mysteries. This sounds like a lot of fun. Yep, that on the list. How about Angel? Yeah, did you ever watch the show Angel, the spinoff from Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Yeah, so I liked Angel. I know people kind of hate on Angel, but I like Angel. So this is a novelization of the very first episode of the Angels TV show. And of course, he's a private detective in LA, and he's a vampire. Hello. So sometimes your occult detectives are a supernatural being themselves. There's like vampires. There's probably some ghost ones. I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff out there for you to explore. I picked this up recently called the Inferno Collection, which I'm hoping will work. This is by Jacqueline Seward. I think this has something to do with some kind of haunted library. I think there's a mystery going on with it. And I think we've got a lieutenant. Yeah, Mike Gardner. Who's on the police force, digging into this. So I think it sounds really fun too. I think I'm going to finally get into Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency by Douglas Adams, because I still haven't read this book and I really need to, and no time like this, I think. So there's a long tradition of great detectives, and Dirk Gently does not belong to it, but his search for a missing cat uncovers a ghost, a time traveler, and the devastating secret of humankind. I mean, if that doesn't fit, I don't know what does. And I kind of think Spirit Hunters fit into that. I read book 1 of this series. This is a middle grade series. I read book 1 back in July. Really loved it. And there's book 2. I think maybe there's a 3rd book by now too. So we're following a young girl who sort of had these powers. She kind of like sees dead people, and it connects with dead people in a way. And there's some mysteries to solve. So this one, she leaves the house from the first book, and I think they're going on like a vacation or something to some kind of island and at a resort. And so she starts getting I guess when she starts, weird things start to happen, and so she's on the job to find out what's going on. I think it's perfect. Yes. And I mean, Solomon Kane, I feel like you can't go wrong here. Robert E. Howard had this sort of collection of collection of Solomon Kane stories. I don't know that I'll get in, I don't know if I'll read all of these, but I'd like to at least finally dig into this collection that I picked up at a thrift store. And let's get into that. And how about X-Files? Yeah, X-Files. And so I've got a few X-Files books. This is the one I've not read yet. It's called Ruins. It's something to do with like an archaeological dig, and there's some kind of like jade artifact. I don't Scully and Mulder are on the case. We know they are FBI agents who investigate paranormal things. So X-Files, absolutely occult detective stories. How amazing. Yes. Last, certainly not least, I've got a couple of Twin Peaks books. Yes, and I think I'm going to finally get to these. I picked these up, several years ago now, and still just haven't gotten into it. I think you got to read this one first, so I'll probably at least try to read this one. This is The Secret History of Twin Peaks by Mark Frost, and it's really cool. It's got it's got all kinds of, it's got little bits and bobs throughout it, so it seems really fun, and I don't know, can't really go wrong with Twin Peaks, So those are just some things I've pulled off my shelves that I sort of feel fit into the occult detective prompts or occult detective books. And so again, I will link MJ's Discord below. Join us there if you have questions about, again, what to read and all kinds of that kind of good stuff. There's all sorts of great folks there to help you out, and I hope you're excited for Occult Detective October. And again, if you just want to read one thing, that's fine too, because we know October is full of stuff, and we like to get our spooky on, and I think these are at a perfect little level of spookiness for October. So I'm going to end it here. I hope that you're excited and want to join us, and thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye friends.